Imagine losing someone you love dearly, like Paul did when his precious cat disappeared while he was answering a phone call. Despite his relentless search, the cat was never found. Then, 7 years later, after Paul moved to a new city for a job promotion, an unbelievable twist brought his beloved pet back into his life. Once upon a time, in the quiet town of Oakville, there lived a man named Paul. His life was simple and peaceful, working as an accountant and living in a small house near the edge of town. Paul wasn't one to seek out excitement, but he had a deep love for animals, especially his ginger cat, Wyatt. Wyatt came into Paul's life 12 years ago on his 25th birthday. Paul's sister, Anna, had surprised him with a tiny kitten, a fluffy little ball of fur with bright amber eyes. The moment Paul saw him, he felt an instant connection. Naming the kitten Wyatt, after his late grandfather, Paul knew this little cat would be special. Over the years, Wyatt became more than just a pet. He was Paul's best friend, always by his side through thick and thin. Every day with Wyatt made Paul's life feel a little brighter. Paul took care of Wyatt with so much love and attention. He always made sure Wyatt had the best food, brought him to the vet for regular checkups, and even taught him some fun tricks. Wyatt could give his paw, fetch a small ball, and talk back to Paul with his unique little sounds. Their connection was filled with trust, happiness, and endless affection. One warm spring afternoon, everything changed. Paul and Wyatt were enjoying their usual time together in the garden when Paul's phone rang. Distracted for just a moment, Paul looked away. But when he looked back, Wyatt was gone. Panic hit him hard. He searched the garden, calling out for Wyatt, but the cat was nowhere in sight. Paul's world turned upside down. He immediately started looking everywhere for Wyatt. He put up missing cat flyers, knocked on every neighbor's door, and even contacted local shelters, but no one had seen his precious friend. Days passed, then weeks, and finally months. But there was still no sign of Wyatt. Even though the search felt hopeless, Paul didn't give up. He hired a private investigator to help find Wyatt, but no trace of him was ever found. The loss of Wyatt took a heavy toll on Paul. He became quiet, distancing himself from friends and co-workers. His once warm, welcoming home felt cold and empty without Wyatt. Every day, when Paul came back from work, he would look at the porch, hoping to see Wyatt waiting for him. But that day never came. As the years passed, Paul kept moving forward, but a part of him was lost. He couldn't bring himself to adopt another pet, feeling that doing so would be like replacing Wyatt. 7 years later, Paul's life changed again. He got a promotion at work, which meant moving to a bigger city, 100 miles away from Oakville. It was a bittersweet decision because leaving Oakville felt like letting go of the hope that Wyatt might return someday. In this new city, Paul tried to start fresh. He made new friends and found new hobbies, but the thought of Wyatt was always with him. One day, while reading a local newspaper, Paul came across an article about volunteers helping stray animals. The memories of Wyatt came rushing back. Paul decided to join the group, hoping it would help him heal. Volunteering at the animal shelter became part of his new life. Caring for the animals brought comfort, even though every cat reminded him of Wyatt. Then, something truly amazing happened. One day at the shelter, volunteers brought in a tired, injured cat they had found wandering the streets. The poor cat was in bad shape, dirty, skinny, and with part of an ear missing. The shelter's vet thought the cat was too old and sick to recover and was about to suggest euthanizing him. But before making any decisions, the vet assistant scanned the cat for a microchip. To everyone's shock, the cat had a chip, and the details revealed that this was no ordinary stray. It was Wyatt, the very cat Paul had lost 7 years ago. Paul could hardly believe it when the shelter called him. He dropped everything and rushed over. His heart pounded as he entered the shelter. When he saw the weak, frail cat in the corner of a cage, tears filled his eyes. Despite his poor condition, Wyatt recognized Paul immediately. His ears perked up, and his amber eyes sparkled with recognition. Paul approached the cage. Then, with trembling hands, he slowly opened it. Wyatt, weak but determined, stood up and walked toward him. The cat gently pressed his tiny, fragile body against Paul's hand. The moment was nothing short of a miracle. Tears filled the eyes of everyone in the room as Paul carefully lifted Wyatt into his arms. The cat snuggled close to Paul's chest, as if trying to erase the 7 long years they had been apart. Bringing Wyatt home felt like a dream. Paul had set up a soft bed and kept some of Wyatt's favorite toys from years ago, waiting for this day. The vet had warned Paul that Wyatt would need extra care due to his age and health issues, but Paul was more than ready. He took time off work to be with Wyatt, feeding him special food, giving him medicine, and showering him with all the love he had saved up over the years. At first, Wyatt was weak and needed constant attention. Paul stayed by his side day and night, helping him regain his strength. Gradually, Wyatt's fur grew shiny again, he gained weight, and he started to play like he used to. Paul's heart was filled with indescribable joy. His life had completely changed with Wyatt's return. With Wyatt back by his side, Paul felt a sense of completeness he hadn't known in years. His home, once cold and empty, was now filled with warmth and joy. Paul started to reconnect with friends, and even began dating a wonderful woman named Sabrina, who shared his love for animals. Wyatt took an immediate liking to Sabrina, always giving her a friendly nudge when she came over. Paul's renewed passion for volunteering at the shelter grew stronger. He used his story to inspire others who were searching for lost pets, showing them that miracles could happen. He shared his experiences and offered hope to those who needed it. As the years went by, Paul and Wyatt's bond deepened. Every night, Paul would settle into his favorite chair, with Wyatt curled up on his lap. They'd spend quiet evenings together, reflecting on their journey. Paul often wondered about Wyatt's life during their time apart, but focused on giving him all the love and care he deserved. Wyatt, despite his age, seemed to have a new lease on life. He enjoyed playing with his new toys and always waited eagerly for Paul to come home. The joy and contentment Paul felt were immense. Together, they faced each day with renewed hope and cherished every moment they had together. That's all for today. Now, it's your turn to share your thoughts about this story. What's the next story you'd like to know? Let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe so you won't miss any of these amazing videos on The Wild Wonder.